Қадірлі достар, мен бүгін Мелисса ханыммен кездесіп отырмын. Мелисса біздің Акеркенің мамасы. Мінекей Акерке сурет салып отыр. Акерке, say салем, just hi. Yeah. А вот и Мелисса. Мелисса, мама Акерке. Я уже говорила о том, что Акерке from Кызылорда. Мелисса была там 3 раза. How was it? 2009. Yep. And that you visited 3 times. How was it Kızılorda? Do you remember?
I loved it. My favorite city.
Oh.
Loved it.
You can say Salem Kızılorda.
Salam Kızılorda.
Akерке, so nice to see you.
Thank you.
Yes. How old are you?
I'm 13. Yeah, I like school.
Yeah. What kind of subject your favorite?
I think maybe math or science.
Oh, really?
I have trouble with science, but I like math.
How about my tone? Did you remember or just remind you something? When I'm talking like Kazakh language or English?
It does remind me of Russian a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Kazakhstan.
Do you know some words, like Kazakh words?
No, I don't think so.
Do you wanna know?
Sure.
Yeah, for example, if you wanna say like hello, you can say just salem.
Salem.
Yes. If you wanna say thank you, rahmet.
Rahmet.
Yes, it's easy. And your pronunciation is perfect when you say Gulmira.
Gumira.
Yes, thank you. Do you know what is mean of Gulmira?
I think it was flower of peace.
Yes. You are so beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Inside and the outside.
Yeah.
Both.
My mom tells me that I'm really pretty every day. And I also really love my own personality. It makes me stand out.
Wow, very great. I'm proud of you. Do you have any dream?
Maybe become like a veterinarian.
Wow. Why?
Well, I really like them. So I thought, I'm pretty sure you have to go into medical care to learn about that. So extra school time.
Appreciate. What do you want to say about your mom?
I really love my mom, and I'm proud of her for starting her store and getting it out the word. I think she's really pretty with her blue eyes.
Agree.
And I'm just proud that she's making her dreams come true. I would say that you're a very lovely woman and you're doing good with your job.
Thank you. Thank you. You're so sweet. Thank you very much. Appreciate. Thank you. Love you.
Love you too.
Interesting. This is animal as well, right?
Yeah, this one's from a movie and this one's from my books.
Okay. Very good. Mелисса, tell me please about our Акерке.
Oh my gosh. I did because I've heard so many different pronunciations for it. We do it at home, Akirke, but I've always heard it with the Arabic G, the K, like Akirke.
Okay.
When you did it, it just sounded a little different. I'm trying to call her Akirke more just because I love that name.
Yes, I love too.
And it's funny because when people hear it, especially Kazakh people, when they hear it, they get all excited, like that is really a Kazakh name.
Oh, wow.
So they're like, there's a Kazakh girl.
Yeah,
there.
this is really Акерке. Usually this is a real Kazakh name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So people get really excited when they Kazakh people. When
Do you
they
have
hear.
some like accidentally meeting with Kazakh
We
people?
do. There's actually a
due to
family.
name?
There's a family from Kazakhstan that was at her school. And the mother, and they had 2 kids around her age, and the mother saw written down Akirke, and she just started getting excited. She started looking for me. Started like, where is this person? There's a Kazakh family here. And it's like, yeah, I have a daughter from there.
Oh.
So yes, that's her name, and that was a big thing for me was to keep her name. I know a lot of people when they do adoption, they give them a different name. For me, it was so important because my last name is Scott, which is very. It's very simple. It's a very English name. I wanted to make sure she had some of her identity with her.
Oh yeah.
And so the fact that this was the name given to her in Kazakhstan. That's her name. That belongs
Appreciate
to her.
for that.
So
Appreciate.
we keep that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's who she is. That's
This
her
is
name.
a very beautiful name,
It's
very
a beautiful
feminine
name,
feminine
and it's a
name.
Kazakh, and it's something
Yeah.
so beautiful that there's actually a Kazakh connection to it, and to
Yeah.
me that's really, really important.
I love it.
So we have that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And you mentioned about Kızılar'da.
I do. Because you know, first night I was in Kazakhstan for the first time, we stayed in Almaty, and to me that's like being in Paris of Asia. I mean, it was just like it's in a big city.
Yes.
And then you take that plane, you fly over the steppes of Kazakhstan, and then you get into Kizilora, and I remember there would be like horses and there would be camels walking around. And to me, and there was yurts. You could see it's like this is the Kazakhstan I wanted to be in. It's so.
How about
Kazakh.
people?
Love
What
the
you
people, they were
what you
so-
observed?
They were so nice. I mean, and they wore the traditional clothing. You know, the velvet.
Yeah,
vest.
kamzol.
Yeah,
national
Akirke
dress.
loves that. She sleeps with it. In fact, we have one, and she loves that feel of it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's her favorite thing. And then I bought probably about 100 of the men's hats. You know which one I'm talking about?
Takia.
Those-
Takia.
I have like 100 of them.
Oh, really?
I love those. I bought lots of those.
You bought 100?
I bought about of
Wow.
the different colors.
Wow.
I loved it. I mean, to me, it felt like I was really experiencing Kazakhstan. You just look out the window and you would see camels. You would see, they would go to the river to drink, and you see horses and goats, and it was just it was a wonderful experience. Remember, it all happened on the day I arrived in Kizilora. And to me, it was. We went to a restaurant. We actually had horse meat, which is, you know, my first experience. And then we went back to my apartment, and I remember thinking I had to get all dressed up because I'm like, I'm gonna meet my child today. I want to make sure I look good for my kid. I want my kid to like me. You know, I want them, you know. So I was so nervous, and I went to the baby house, and I went into the nurses or the doctors. And I'm just sitting there, and I remember thinking, when that door opens, my life is going to change. I'm going to become a mother. My life is going to change.
Wow.
And I remember being so nervous. I'm like, this is going to be the end of my first chapter of my life. And now my life is going to change. And I remember and I was so nervous. And they brought her, they sat her down, but my translator was talking to my coordinator, was talking to the doctor. So all this stuff everything was being said in Kazakh, and they put her down, and she had on this beautiful pink coat and this blue hat, and I'll never forget
You
it.
remember
Of course,
everything.
I have a picture of it, and she was just the most beautiful. I mean, she didn't cry, she just sat down, and I remember I said, can I take her hat off? I don't know why, but and it was just, I fell in love. I fell in love. And it was American. And you know what's funny? Her birthday is February 4th. So originally I was going to adopt from Uzbekistan. And at that time I had been about 18 months going through Uzbekistan. And then they said, Melissa, it's not going to happen. You've got to find a different country to adopt from. So on February 4th, 2008, I officially switched to Kazakhstan. I put in my dossier and my paperwork, and I put it in my calendar. I said, switch to Kazakhstan. February 4th, 2008. That was the day she was born.
Wow.
So to me, it was a sign from God in a
It's
sense.
kind of
And
a gift from the God.
I have it in a picture frame, my calendar thing that says switch to Kazakhstan. February 4th, 2008. And
This is amazing.
it was absolutely. So then we went into the living room, or whatever, the playroom, and we could get to know each other. So the first time was about 2.5 weeks. Get to know each other, and then I came back about 3 months later. That was in March. Then I came back in August. So March, April, May, June, July. 5 months later, I came back. And in 5 months, when they're a baby, they change, they grow.
Wow.
And I remember seeing her, and at first it was like, oh my God, she's so much bigger. And I remember being so sad because it's like, I missed this.
Yeah.
I missed this part of her life.
Oh yeah.
But she gave like the tightest hug possible, and she'd met my parents or her grandparents.
Wow.
So baby house always gave her really, really hot tea.
Yeah.
So I would sneak in like some nutritious milk and stuff
Wow.
like that. So I first met her, she was 13 months.
13 months.
She was 13 months, so she was a year and 1 month.
Wow.
So I met her in 2009 March.
Yeah.
And then when I came back the third time, it was in September. So I brought her home in October, so she was almost 2 years old, but not quite.
Okay. Like almost 2 years old.
Almost 2 years old. She's very, very talented. I mean, and then she just, and I remember the first night I took her home to the apartment in Kidalorda, and that was when I learned she doesn't sleep. She does not sleep.
Why?
I mean, and I think it was probably because she was no longer in the baby house, so she no longer had that structure.
Uh-huh.
So I had her in my room, I closed the door, I couldn't stay awake. She was running all the way around, climbing up and down, climbing on top of me. So when we came back to America, the same thing, she never napped. Toddlers are supposed to nap.
Uh-huh.
She never napped. Again, so I'd take her in my room, I'm like, I'm tired. I would lie down, I'd close the door so she wouldn't get out, and she'd be in my room, and she'd play, and then she'd climb up on the bed and like try to wake me up and maybe sleep a little bit. Or when I would rock her, she'd fall asleep, and then as soon as I got up, she was awake. I'm like, that's it. So she wouldn't fall back to sleep. Oh, it drove me crazy.
Oh.
Oh, but you know what? Now that she's a teenager, she naps all the time. So my best thing I ever got from Kidalorda, besides my daughter, was the salt.
Salt from Kızılar'da.
Salt from Kidalorda. People think I'm crazy.
No, you're not
but
crazy.
It tastes so good.
Oh, yeah?
Most people think salt is salt is salt. It
Yeah.
tastes exactly the same.
Uh-huh.
But there's something about it that is so good.
Uh-huh.
I fell in love with it. And so I bought a whole bunch, and then I put it like in my water bottle. And I put it in so many things. So when I went through customs, leaving Kazakhstan, the custom agents were looking at this and they're smelling it. It's like, what is this? I'm like a drug? I'm like, no, this is salt. And they're like, why are you taking salt? I'm like, it is so good. I have to share it with everyone back in the States.
You know, this is calling Aral Tuz.
I didn't know there was a name for it.
Yeah, this is from Sea Aral. You still have it?
Yes, I do have some, but I have a limited supply, so I only use it for special occasions and special friends.
Wow.
So I'm very, very picky of when we use it.
And during the more than 10 years, you can save this salt?
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah.
11 years?
It's still good. It's still good. But I haven't been back, so I have to ration it and make sure that it lasts until my next trip, or until I have you come back.
Yeah, this is organic stuff. Yeah.
It's the best tasting salt, and that's my one thing that I brought back from Kazakhstan. Besides, like a lot of the clothing, was the salt. I mean, it's so good.
Melissa, believe me, next time I will bring to you a special, I promise.
I'm not going to let you in the country unless you have a suitcase full of the salt.
Yeah.
I have to have it. It is
Okay.
so good.
I will bring as a gift, okay?
Please do. Please
Okay.
do.
Okay. Aral Tuz. I remember.
Supermodel. Ooh.
Мелисса, таныс болыңыздар, Мелисса. Акеркенің мамасы.
Mama. Yeah.
Мама, yeah.
Kari tang, kari kun, kari cash, kari tun.
Wow, Мелисса, Акеркенің мамасы. You can-
Kidalorda. Yeah. I love Kidalorda.
Мелисса, осындай керемет әңгіме айттық. Мелиссамен күшті естеліктер түсірдік. Қызылорда туралы айттық. Қайырлы түн, қайырлы кеш деп қазақша сөйлеп жатыр.